Hello all, Jeff here with a new video. Two topics that were controversial when Forza Motorsport 7 first came out was homologation, the fact that there was no class racing in single player and online when the game launched, as well as the lack of Toyota road cars. And yep, it's been a while since Forza 7's been around, but I thought to myself, hang on, homologation is a big deal in this game. And you got leagues, which is all homologation. You have homologated hoppers on a bi-weekly rotation. So I thought to myself, how would you homologate a Toyota and a Lexus in Forza Motorsport 7? So to do this, I've gone through every Toyota, Lexus and even Scion that's appeared on an Xbox One Forza game. Yeah, we have Toyotas in the game. As you can see, we have race cars and the good old Aussie tradies work ute. Yeah, I mean, it's great having the Hilux in game, but we don't have the iconic Toyota sports cars anymore. Anyway, I'm going to do this list from oldest to newest, whether it's Toyota, Lexus, Scion, it's all here. Let's start off with the 1969 Toyota 2000 GT. Now, this car was released just before the Datsun 240Z, which is in Forza 7 with some ridiculously long name. I think it's like Nissan Fairlady Z 400 something. You'll see it on the screen now. Anyway, the 2000 GT will go to the Vintage Sport Compact Division since the 240Z is already there. Makes sense. I'll also put another two old Toyotas in the Vintage Sport Compact Division. The 1974 Toyota Corolla SR5. Yes, a Corolla. I did a useless car challenge with this car a couple months ago. Go check it out on the info card now if you like. Also, the 1974 Toyota Celica or Celica GT. Also in the Vintage Sport Compact Division. Also, another 70s Toyota, which only appeared in Forza Horizon 3, was the FJ40. You may think, oh wait, that's a Land Cruiser. That's the Land Cruiser Arctic truck you're seeing. Correct. But the FJ40 is also a Land Cruiser. So yeah, this car, Vintage Off-Roaders Division, since the old Land Rovers are there, the Willys Jeep is there, and the Myers Manx is there. Makes sense. Next, we have the 1985 Toyota Sprinter Triano GT Apex, otherwise known as the AE86. I would put this car in the Sport Compact Icons Division. Again, makes sense. Also, the 1989 Toyota MR2 SC. I would also put this in the Sport Compact Icons Division. For the same reason. You've got the Mazda MX-5 Miata there. Next up, we have the 1992 Toyota Supra 2.0 GT Twin Turbo. This was the Supra before the most iconic Supra of all came along. This car, as you can see, is in Forza Horizon 3 as paid DLC, so you know. This car I'd put in the early Sport Touring Division since the R32 Skyline GTR is there. And also, this Supra did go Group A racing back in the day, like the R32 Skyline GTR, the Sierra RS500, the VL Commodore, etc. Makes sense. Next up we have the Toyota Celica GT4. We have two of them. So there was the 1992 ST185, as you can see on screen here, as well as the 1994 ST205. I'll put both of these cars in the Showroom Rally Division because, let's be honest, they're rally cars for the road. And not only that, the ST205's rival from Sega Rally Championship, the Lancia Delta HF Stradale, is in that division as well. Makes sense. Whack both of them in the Showroom Rally Division. Next up we have the 1995 Toyota MR2 GT. I'll put this in the Sport Compact Icons Division as well. Next up we have the 1997 Lexus SC300, also known as the Toyota Sora in Japan. A much better Lexus SC compared to the terrible SC430 we did see in Forza 2, Forza 3, Forza 4. But the SC300 would be a great car for this game. I'll put it in the early sport luxury division. Next up, one of the most iconic Toyota sports cars of all time, the 1998 Toyota Supra RZ. I'll put these in the Sport GT Icons division because the R33 and R34 Skyline GTRs are there. Makes sense. Keep the Supra Skyline rivalry going in Forza 7. Not only that, if you played Forza Horizon 3, you will know that there is a Supra Horizon edition. If Toyota road cars were in Forza 7, I reckon you'd see a Supra Forza edition and it would look just like this. Keep in mind it would be homologated to Sport GT Icons, but when it comes to online hoppers, you can upgrade it as much as you like, whether you want the S-Class, R-Class. It would be a pretty mental car. Next up, we have the 1999 Toyota GT1. Why this car isn't in the game, I don't know. It's a race car. Before this game was announced, Forza 7 that is, they turned to like, look, Toyota race cars will be in the game, but the GT1 isn't there. I don't know why. Anyway, I'd put this car in the early prototype races division. And you may be thinking, hang on, that's for Group C prototypes that are like 10 years older than this. Correct. But the BMW V12 LMR is there, and the GT1 competed with that car at Le Mans in '99. Makes sense. Next up, we have the 2003 Toyota Celica, or Celica, depending on where you're from. The last of the Celicas. I'll put this in the Sport Compact Icons division. Let's be honest, it's an older car, and the Celica brand is iconic. Next up, we have the 2009 Lexus ISF. Probably a very, very fast Lexus. I'll put this in the Sport Touring Icons division. You may be thinking, what about Sport Touring? Yeah, correct, but I looked at the division recently. Sport Touring Icons is cars from 2000 to 2009. Sport Touring is 2010 to today. So from that point of view, I put this in the Sport Touring Icons division, sadly. Because I think this car would be a better fit for Sport Touring, but for the sake of what Turn 10 have done, I would put this in the Sport Touring Icons division. Next up, the fastest Lexus of all time, the 2010 Lexus LFA. This car I'll put in the Exotic GT division. That was the division this car was in Forza 6. Obviously, the homologation rules will change things a little bit, but then again, it's going to compete with stuff like the 2017 Ford GT, the Porsche GT2 RS. Makes sense. Next up, the one and only Scion in Xbox One Forza games, the TC. I'll put this in the Sport Compact division, mainly because there isn't really any other division for this car, so that's why it's there. Also, we have the 2013 Toyota GD86, or just called the 86 in some countries. Now, you've already guessed which division this thing's going to be in. It's going to be in the division where the Subaru BRZ is, the Sport Compact division. Whether you whack in the Scion FRS from Forza Horizon 1 as well, who knows. For those who don't know what the Scion FRS is, it is a Toyota GD86. It is exactly the same. It's just in America for a couple years, the 86 was sold as the Scion FRS. Exactly the same car. The only difference was the badge at the front and the back. That's it. It's not like the BRZ where it's a little bit different here and there. As I think of it, another car we could have had would have been the Top Gear's current reasonably fast car. The updated Toyota GD86 with the race seats and the race suspension. Again, we put this in the same division the Subaru BRZ is in, which is the Sport Compact division. That's another one. Next up, we have the 2013 Lexus GS350F Sport. I'll put this car in the Sport Touring division. Yeah, I would put it in icons, but just because of the age of the car, I'd put it there. The ISF would be a much better fit, but because of the age of the cars in the divisions, I'd put it there, as well as the 2014 IS 350 F Sport. So yeah, probably not the best fit, but from what Turn 10 have done with this game, that's where I put them. Next up, we have the Toyota Avensis touring car. Now there are 3 of them in Forza 6. Well, it's quite obvious where these Avensis are going to go. Forza touring cars. So yeah, and just by driving it on Forza 6, it's a pretty good car. Sad we don't have it being a race car, but anyway. Next up, we have the 2014 Toyota Rebellion Lola R1. As you can see, it says P1 on the side. Yep, it's going to go to the Forza P1 division, as well as the Toyota TS040 Hybrid. Forza P1. This could possibly have been an X-Class car in stock trim in Forza 7, but because it's not in the game, we'll never know. And it's sad because it's a really, really good car. Doesn't have the turbo lag of the Porsche 919. Matter of fact, this would be a better match for the Porsche 919 than the Audi R18 is in Forza 7. Sadly, we don't have it. Now, we could have had the Toyota TS060 as well. You know, the car that choked just before it was going to cross the line for victory at Le Mans 2016, but then won this year. We don't have that. We could have had that car if it wasn't for Toyota pulling out of racing games, but anyway, that's what happens. Also, last of all, we have the 2015 Lexus RCF. I'll put this car in the Sport Touring division. I think this would be a great fit. It is a proper hot Lexus. It's going to compete with stuff like the Mercedes C63, BMW M4, and so on. Makes sense. What about other new Toyotas and Lexuses? Would we have seen any in Forza 7? Possibly. The Lexus RCF GT3, we could have had that car. Obviously, it goes to the Forza GT division. Would have been a great car. The new Supra, well, it hasn't officially released yet, so we probably wouldn't see it in Forza 7. Possibly we could have had it in Horizon 4, but again, we'll never know. Also, the Toyota Yaris World Rally car. I'm surprised this isn't there either, because they're sponsored by Microsoft. Who makes Xbox? Microsoft. We already have a Formula 1 car in Forza 7. It would make perfect sense to have the Yaris World Rally car in games since we have so many off-roaders. Obviously, Forza Group Rally Division. Unfortunately, we may never have it. But yeah, that's what I think of Toyota if they were homologated for Forza 7. So, yeah, if you like the video, smash the like button. If you have any comments about any of the Toyotas, Lexuses, Scions, if they were to be in Forza 7, let me know in the comments. I will be reading them. Subscribe for more content, and tap the notification bell if you want to be notified of new videos. Also, if you're up for a chat, my Discord link is down below in the description. Anyway, this is Jeff here, and happy racing. Cheers.